Okay, I think we are live. Hello, world! Welcome to the season premiere of season 5 for Mr. FLIXTER Show. I'll try that again. Welcome to the season premiere of season 5 for Mr. FLIXTER Show. Yeah, take 2 is better. Cool. So, in this episode, I'm going to rank my top 5 worst non-horror movies of 2025. That's right, I'm not going to talk about any horror movies in this one. So, if you're expecting certain movies like War of the Worlds, I count that as a horror movie. That's not going to be on this list. So, anyways, before we get to the main event, I'm going to talk about the weekend box office update. And we have a few birthdays and a very tragic death that happened of a legend. So, we have a lot to get to tonight. So, without further ado, let's start the show, shall we? Live from Niagara Falls, it's Mr. FLIXTER Show on Saturday night. My channel. Thank you for clicking on my video.
He said he was on the verge of a discovery so terrific that he doubted his own sanity. There was a strange look in his eyes, some mystery.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hello, world. I'm Chris Benson, aka Mr. FLIXTER, here to talk motion pictures.
Mr. FLIXTER.
Here I am. I'm back. Okay, so before we get to the main event, let's talk about some birthdays, shall we? Start with some good news. So I'll just share my screen. This one? Yeah, cool. Okay, I got that right. So we'll go to IMDb. Here we go. Okay. So we recently had the birthday of, Katie Seagal. So let's get her picture up. Here she is. Okay, great picture. She was born on January 19th, 1954, in Los Angeles, California. She just turned 72. Happy birthday, Katie Seagal. So let's just take a look at her body of work. She's had quite the career. We're just going to keep it simple. She has 97 acting credits. Wow. 5, I thought I could have more. Okay, her most recent show is called The Abandons. I'm not sure what Carousel is, but it says 2026, so it might not be out yet. Yeah, she played Leela in Futurama. She was in The Conners. That's right, for 54 episodes. I didn't realize she was in that many. Let's see, what else stands out? She was in Shameless, 2018 to 2019, 7 episodes. Oh, she was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine for 2 episodes. Okay. She was in an episode of This Is Us. Oh, she was even in, oh, that's right. She was in Big Bang Theory. She's Penny's mom. I forgot about that. And there it is. So, Sons of Anarchy, 2008 to 2014. She was in 92 episodes of that. And she was in Glee for an episode. I didn't know that. I must have missed that one. 2013. Oh, she was in Lost. Okay.
She was also in The Simpsons for one episode.
Oh. Okay. Let's see what else. She was in The Shield for 2 episodes, 2005 to 2007. She was in Ghost Whisperer for an episode. That's cool. And then 8 Simple Rules. That was a good show from 2002 to 2005. She was in 76 episodes. Where's that Simpsons one? Oh, okay, yeah, she was in The Simpsons for an episode too. Oh, that's right. There was a crossover episode of Futurama and The Simpsons. That's right. 2014. 12 years ago. I was just informed I missed one. Thank you.
You're welcome.
She was in CSI for an episode in 2008. Let's see what else. Where were we? Here we go. 8 Simple Rules. Oh, she was in Recess. I didn't know that. I used to watch that too. 1997 to 2000. 5 episodes. Cool. She was in Smart House. That's a good movie. That's a Disney Channel original. Before streaming services. 1999. Oh, was that long ago? Wow. I remember watching that on TV. Yeah. She was in that 70s show. Interesting. For 3 episodes. Oh, wow. I forgot about that. 1999. That must have been one of the later seasons. Here's the big one. Married with Children. She was in 260 episodes. Wow. Well, it did run from 87 to 97. So that's 10 years. That's amazing. And she was in Duckman. Wow. 1985. That's cool. She was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt in 1990. Mother Goose Rock and Rhyme. Oh my God. I remember that. 1990. If any of these are a blast from the past for you, leave comments below. She was in Columbo. Look at that. For what episode? But still, 1973. Oh, okay. And then her first TV movie was The Failing of Raymond in 1971. Cool. It looks like she did a lot of TV movies first before getting into television. It looks like her first movie, like a theatrical release, was Made to Order in 1987. Interesting. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the career of Katie Sagal in a nutshell. Let's get one last look at the picture. Here we go. Happy birthday, Katie Sagal.
She still looks good for her age.
Oh, she's aged very well.
Mm-hmm.
I have to agree. Okay. We got one more birthday for you, and that is Dolly Parton. There she is. I know she's more of a musician, but she does do movies too. We will get to that. And she's also aged very well. Here she is. She was born January 19th, 1946. in Pittman Center, Tennessee. She's celebrating her 80th birthday this year. Wow. I would not have guessed just by looking at her.
No, she's half plastic.
Go away, not sponsored. All right.
I love Dolly Parton. Bye.
Hey. Here you go, credits. Oh, wow. She actually has 154 acting credits? What? Wow. All right. Let's get to it. There's probably a lot of music videos. Yeah. We'll just kind of skim through this. Yeah, see, video. That's cool. Oh, she was in Call Me Cat. That's a TV show. One episode in 2023. Wow. Oh, she was in an episode of The Orville in 2022. Grace and Frankie, also same year. These are all music videos. Christmas at Dollywood is a TV movie. She plays herself, 2019.
Yeah, it's the movie.
We got Snug's House. That's a TV show, 2017. Cool. What else we got? These are music videos. I don't want to go too fast, though. Okay. We got a show called Lily's Driftwood Bay in 2017. Sure. Probably a good show. By the sounds of it. This might be a movie. Joyful Noise. Oh, we got Dolly Parton's A Christmas Carol. She's the ghost of Christmas Past. Okay. 2013. I missed that when I did my Christmas Carol episode during the holiday season. We got Joyful Noise. I think I said that already. 2012. She was in Romeo and Juliet. I didn't know that. I kind of like that movie. That's kind of a guilty pleasure. 2011. It's cute.
I have to wait.
Oh, she was in the Reba Show, the original, for an episode back in 2005, 11 years ago. Keep having to remind myself it's 2026 now.
She was in Miss Congeniality.
Oh,
Armed and Fabulous.
Okay. Did I pass that?
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Miss Congeniality 2, Armed and Fabulous, 2005. A lot of these she plays herself, but that's fine. She's still in the movies or the show. Oh, she's in The Simpsons, 1999. They say, you made it when you're on The Simpsons. She was in Magic School Bus, 1996. And Get to the Heart, the Barbara Mandrell story, 1997. Interesting. What else we got? Heavens to Betsy was a show in 1995. She was in 6 episodes. What else we got? Videos. What's your favorite Dolly Parton song? Leave comments below. These are all videos. A Smoky Mountain Christmas, 1986.
She was in Designing Women.
Oh.
You just went past that one.
Okay, thank you. I was going too fast. Oh, yeah, here we go. Designing Women was a TV show. She was in 2 episodes in the 90s. And then Steel Magnolias was 89. Back in the 1900s. Rhinestone was 84. She was in Alvin and the Chipmunks in 83 for an episode. That's cool. Makes sense. Well, there's my personal favorite. 9 to 5, 1980. Oh, Best Little Whorehouse in Texas was 82. Almost missed that one.
82. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that one made me feel old.
She was in, her first show was Captain Kangaroo in 1976. That's cool. So her first movie, was her best movie Best Little Whorehouse in Texas? No, her first movie was 95. Interesting. 80. Cool. So there's a little dive into Dolly Parton's movie and TV career. This is the movie channel after all, but here's her picture. Happy birthday, Dolly Parton.
No, but I look that good when I'm eating.
And now, sadly, I must report the tragic loss that we recently endured. In case you haven't heard, Catherine O'Hara recently passed away. So I'm going to try and get through this. This might be difficult. There's her picture. Great picture. Okay. She was born on March 4th, 1954, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. It's like an hour and a half away from Niagara Falls. She passed away on January 30th, 2026, yesterday, in Los Angeles. She was 71 years old, and the cause of death was a brief illness, they say. So may she rest in peace. She truly was a national treasure. Can we just get a moment of silence for Catherine O'Hara? Thank you.
Truly a legend. And an icon.
Oh, yeah, I think most people, including us, we grew up with her.
Mm-hmm.
So she truly will be missed. So let's all be brave and let's talk about her career. She has 124 acting credits. Wow. Let's just keep it simple and stick with the acting. Her most recent show was The Studio. I've heard good things, but I haven't seen that yet. She was in 10 episodes of that. And she was in The Last of Us. That's right, for 3 episodes. She was in The Wild World, that great film, in 2024. And then Beetlejuice. I'm really glad that she was able to come back for the sequel. It wouldn't have been the same without her. That was also in 2024. And then Argyle, I didn't see, but I heard terrible things. I'm sure she's great in it. I didn't know she's in Elemental in 2023. That's cool. She's in one of my favorite Disney movies, but we'll get to that. Oh, she was in Kids in the Hall. That must be the new version, 2022. That's cool. Let's see, what else? Schitt's Creek is pretty popular. Well, it was 2015 to 2020, 80 episodes of that. She was in the new Addams Family. She was the grandma in 2019. I didn't see that one. She's in The Magic School Bus Rides Again. That's kind of cool. For 2 episodes. That's awesome. 2018. She was in an episode of Modern Family. 2015. That's cool. Let's see. She was in 30 Rock. That was a funny show. 2012. She's in Frankenweenie. That's right. 2012. She's got a few roles in that one. That's a great movie. I talked about that in my Frankenstein episode. She was in Killers. That was pretty good. That had Ashton Kutcher, I believe. 2010. Where the Wild Things Are. That's right. She's one of the monsters. 2009. Curb Your Enthusiasm. She was in an episode of that one. 2009 as well. She was in a video called Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses in 2006. She just was one of those voices. She's great for voice roles. She's in Monster House. That's right. She's the mom. Chicken Little. I forgot she was in that one. 2005. Monster House was 2006, by the way. She was in A Series of Unfortunate Events. Lemony Snicket's. 2004. We're getting into the 90s now. The good stuff. Oh, Mighty Wind is awesome. That's hilarious. He was in Orange County. That was good with Jack Black.
Surviving
2009. Oh yeah, she's in Surviving Christmas in 2004. Surviving Christmas was 2004. Okay. Best in Show. I love that one. 2000. She's hilarious in that one. Oh, she was in an episode of Mad TV. I forgot about that. 2000. All right, now we're getting into the 90s. She was in Home Fries. I think that had Drew Barrymore. 98. Oh, Pippi Longstocking. Okay, 97. That's cool. Outer Limits. 97. I see Outer Limits on a lot of these.
I didn't even know they did a Pippi Longstocking in 97.
Oh. Waiting for Guffman was 96. Tales from the Crypt, 94. That's cool. She was in Wyatt Earp. That's right. 94. Here's my favorite Disney movie, The Nightmare Before Christmas, 1993. She plays Sally, of course, and Shock, the witch. Oh, the little girl that dresses as a witch for Halloween. And then here's the other big ones. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, 1992. I watch that every Christmas.
Yeah.
And then here's the other one, the big one, the original, 1990, Home Alone. Kevin! I think we all have that stuck in our heads. Oh, that's right. She's in Dick Tracy. That's cool. 1990. Let's see what else we got. Beetlejuice, another big one. 1988. I keep forgetting she was in Beetlejuice first and then Home Alone. And she was in SCTV for 5 episodes from 83 to 84. Well, and then there's SCTV Network. I guess there were just different versions of the show. So that was 81 to 83. She was in 28 episodes. And here's the original SCTV. Yeah, so it was different versions. I guess they rebranded after a while. Because this was 70. I didn't think that sounded right. This is 76 to 79. That sounds more like it. 50 episodes. And yeah, her first show was something called The Wayne and Schuster Show in 1975. And her first TV movie was Rim Shots, 1976. What was the first theatrical release, I wonder? Nothing Personal, 1980. Interesting. Rest in peace, Catherine O'Hara.
Rest in peace.
You will be missed, and you will not be replaced.
Gone from my sight, but never forgotten.
Like
Forever in the hearts of billions. I can't even say millions. That will be in the billions.
Okay. There we go. Okay, here I am. So she was almost indescribable. Like, she's just the kind of humor that no matter what kind of mood you're in, she's always the one that makes you laugh. Every time she comes on screen, she just kind of makes you kind of brighten up a little bit. You know what I mean? So it's really sad to see her go.
Mm-hmm.
Tragic. So now that we've got the sad news out of the way, let's sort of lighten the mood a little bit. Let's talk about the weekend box office in a little segment I call the weekend box office update. And then I'm really excited. I got a lot of, I didn't do it. I got to share the screen first. I almost screwed that up. Okay, get ahead of myself. But yeah, I'm excited. There were a lot of bad movies last year, but these ones are going to be hard to beat, in my opinion. But before we get to that, last weekend was January 23rd to the 25th. So it looks like the top movie last week was Mercy. It made $10 million. It was its opening weekend. Oh, that's an Amazon movie. Okay. Yeah, January 23rd. Yeah, that was last week. Okay, cool. Just checking. So number 2 was Avatar: Fire and Ash. It dropped a spot. It made $6.4 million. It dropped 55.8%. Ooh, ouch. It's made $377.9 million so far, though, so I think it's doing okay. Next up, at number 3, at the same spot it was last week, apparently, was Zootopia 2. It made $5.3 million. Oh, but it dropped 42.2%. Ouch. But this one, too, it's made $401 million so far. So I think that's one of the highest grossing movies of the year. We'll get to that after this. At number 4, in the same spot as last week, was The Housemaid. It made $3.9 million. And again, it dropped 53.9%. Ouch. A lot of these are dropping a lot. But this one's made $115 million so far. I've heard good things. I haven't seen that one yet. I haven't seen Avatar either, but I'm not that interested in seeing that one. At number 5 is Marty Supreme. I'm hiding it though. There we go. Oh, look at that. All 3 of these are in the same spot as they were last week. That's funny. But Marty Supreme, I love this movie. In fact, this movie might come up next week when I talk about the best non-horror movies of 2025. Stay tuned to find out. This made $3.5 million. And not a bad drop, 36.2%. It's made $86.2 million so far. It's been out for 6 weeks. And number 7 is a new entry. Oh, wait, I skipped one. At number 6, dropping 4 spots, ouch, is 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. I reviewed 28 Years Later on my channel. So if you're curious what I think about that movie, check it out. It's a great episode. I review and rank all the 28 movies. Ooh, this is the worst so far. 72.6% drop. Oh, holy crap. And then it made so far $20.5 million. So I guess that was not good word of mouth. Everyone saw it opening weekend, and then nobody went back to go see it again. They told people stay away, I guess. Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled about it. So we'll see how it goes. I probably won't even see it in theater, so I'll wait until it comes out streaming. I'm in no rush to see that one. Okay, I'm just going to take a second here, check the comments. Oh, wow, I have a lot of comments here. Sorry, people, I have not been paying attention. Okay, let's just remove this. Hi, everybody. Thank you for watching. We got Cheetah, greetings. Catherine was brilliant. I agree. And then he continues, I heard Iron Lund did well. Oh, yeah. heard good things about Iron Lung. The weather hurt the box office. I completely agree. And then Sabrina. I agree on Catherine's brilliance. Yes. And then Cheetah saying hello. I got 28 years later last week. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not too thrilled about the new one. And then Sabrina says hello back. Hi, Cheetah. Thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you, Sabrina, for making me aware of the comments.
You're welcome.
So let's get back to it, shall we? Add to screen. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so number 7. Here we go. Excuse me. Sorry. Number 7, Return to Silent Hill. I am looking forward to this one because I do love the original, but it's getting horrible reviews out of the gates. And this box office, $3.2 million, feels like it should be higher. But we'll see how it does. It's the first week. At number 8, they re-released Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring. It made $2 million its opening weekend. That's pretty cool. I remember when it first came out back in 2001, I think. But yeah, it's been out for 2 weeks now. It's made $5.9 million. So that's awesome. People who didn't get to see it 20 years ago get to see it now on the big screen. At number 9 is Hamnet, coming up a lot. Wow, it was at 16 last week. It made $1.8 million. It's increased 37.5%. Wow, that's great. It made $17.4 million. It's been out for 9 weeks. I wasn't really a big fan of this one. If you're curious, I do have my review on Letterboxd. If you're interested, you can read it. And number 10 and 11, we got 2 more Lord of the Rings movies. It's interesting how Return of the King is above Two Towers. I kind of thought that would make the most money because Return of the King is my personal favorite of the trilogy. They both made $1.6 million. See that? And then King got $3.9 million. And then Two Towers got $4 million. So that's pretty cool. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's number 11. Okay, so some honorable mentions to round out the bottom 15. We got Primate. It was at 12. Well, it's at 12 now, but it dropped. It was at 6 last week. It's made $1.5 million. It dropped 69.1%. Ouch. Ouch. I've heard good things too. I haven't seen it yet, but I am looking forward to Primate. It's like a creature feature, animal attack movie. $23.4 million. It's been out for 3 weeks, so it's done pretty good. At number 13, we got Anaconda, dropping from number 9 last week. It's made $1.3 million. It dropped 60.7%. Ouch. Damn. And it's made $62 million. I haven't seen that one yet, but I haven't heard anything good about it. 14 is something called Clicka. I'm not familiar with that, but it's made $1.2 million. Good job. First week for Columbia Pictures. That's not bad at all. And then the last one is Greenland 2. I didn't know they made a second one. It almost made $1 million. It dropped 72%. I think that's the highest. Oh, it tied with 28 years later, Bone Temple. It's made $16.9 million. It's been out for 3 weeks. Oh, wow. I had no idea that movie existed till now. Okay, cool. So that wraps up last week's box office. Let's just take a look at the international, shall we? Oh, wait. Worldwide. There it is. So far in 2026, the highest grossing movie is 28 years later, Bone Temple. Really fascinating. Made $47.8 million around the world. And number 2, we have Primate. I think I said Prime Ape before. I just realized I've been saying it wrong this whole time. That's a T. Oops, my bad. Anyways, it's made $31.4 million worldwide. And number 3 is Greenland 2, the mystery movie that I just found out existed today. It made $23.4 million. Number 4 is Mercy. I haven't heard good things about that one either, but apparently it's popular with $21.9 million. And then number 5, we have Hypno Music, Division Rap Battle, Rule the Stage, Battle of Pride, 2023. Sure. $15 million worldwide. Number 6, we have something called Exowurst at $9.8 million. 7, we have 7, we have Return to Silent Hill. It's made $9.1 million worldwide. Here's Ireland. I'm surprised it wasn't in the other list. But worldwide, it's made $9 million. Wow, that's cool. Hold on, I want to check something. Because it'll tell me domestic. Oh, that is domestic. Oh, that's worldwide too. Okay, so it's made 9 million total. Oh, it hasn't been released internationally yet. Oh, okay. Mystery solved, people. Number 9, we got Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. That's kind of awesome. $7.9 million worldwide. We got Send Help. That wasn't on the top 10 either. That's one I'm looking forward to. $7.2 million. That's the new Sam Raimi picture. And then rounding out the bottom 15. Honorable mentions. We got Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. 6.7. I guess that these haven't been released internationally yet, but still, they're on the list. That says a lot, actually. 12 is Checker Toby 3. Something in German. $5.9 million. 13 is Two Towers. 4.7. And then 14 is Bloody Haven. 4.7 million. And then 15 is The Three Interrogators, Isle of Death. $4.1 million. Fascinating. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The weekend box office update. Where am I? Here I am. I'm back. Let's take a look at the comments to see what people are saying now. Cheetah says, Silent Hill has bombed really bad. Yeah, it's disappointing. He loved the first Silent Hill too. Primary Pubia Library pickup. Yeah, I might wait for that just to stream too. It just came out at a bad time of the year. January is always hard for people because the holidays, right? But anyways, I'm excited. We have a lot to talk about. I got 10 movies here. I got 5 honorable mentions, and then I have the top 5 worst movies of 2025. And by that, I mean they're either technically poorly made films, or they were ones I were really looking forward to that were very disappointing to me. So that being the criteria, you might see some of these movies on your list and go, wait, but Chris, that movie's great. How can you hate that movie? Or the opposite. You can be like, I completely agree. That movie's trash. So I'm really curious what people think about this. And, I've heard other input from other YouTubers about their lists, and I'm surprised my list is actually very different. So without further ado, let's start with the honorable mentions. Now, the first one, I'm kind of cheating, but I'm not going to let this one off the hook. So hold on, let me just share the screen. I almost forgot. Put me in the corner. Aha, there we go. So where am I going? I guess it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm going here. Okay. I know what's happening. Okay. So yeah. The first dishonorable mention, I should say, is Jurassic World Rebirth. Oh, wait, hold on before I go any further. Oh, one more thing to say. These aren't going to be full reviews. I'm just gonna kind of sum up what I've said before, because some of these movies I've done reviews for on my channel, and all the other reviews I've written reviews for on Letterboxd too. So if you read my full thoughts, if you're interested, I'm just gonna kind of skim over, do like the abridged version of the reviews that I have, and I'm gonna try and keep this condensed, try and keep this quick. My episodes before, I tend to have drag on, so I'm trying to keep things a little tighter, a little more streamlined. New format, new year. So here we go. Wait, I'm sharing the screen, right? Okay, cool. Okay, so yeah, like I said, this is kind of cheating. Because Jurassic Park has always been this weird hybrid, like quasi horror franchise, but it's always been like a family franchise too. Like it was always a tradition for us growing up. We'd always go see the new Jurassic Park together as a family. So there was a lot of other bad horror movies this year I wanted to talk about. So I wasn't sure where to put this. So I said, screw it. I'm going to put it on this list because, oh, it was just disappointing. Oh my God. This would have an episode 4 on my channel. So if you want to see all my thoughts about it, feel free to check it out. Pardon me, I'm just getting a drink. Okay, so just pull up my notes here. Okay. Jurassic World Rebirth had a budget of $180 million, and it made $869.1 million at the box office worldwide. Holy crap. It was popular, but was it good? I don't think so. You know, the movie is going to be a problem when it starts off with a Snickers wrapper causing the whole laboratory to go to chaos and releasing the dinosaurs. Which that didn't make sense either, because it looked like that was just like the security entrance. So why did that unlock all the doors? But if you're already having problems the first 2 minutes into the movie, you know you're in for a bad time. So basically, it was directed by Gareth Edwards, and it was written by David Koepp. And it's really disappointing too, because in that video I mentioned, I read an article, and he was admitted that I even quoted it. You can see the full quote in that video, but he was saying he was running out of ideas and he just wanted to start fresh. Then why are you just repeating yourself? I don't get this. The dinosaurs do look good. I'll give them that. The CGI is pretty cool. I was happy to see that on the big screen. But this was one of my most anticipated movies of the year, which makes it all the more disappointing because you get high hopes for something. And then you see promising previews. Sometimes previews don't always do movies justice. So my little inside joke, I like to call this, instead of Jurassic World Rebirth, Jurassic World Recycled.
And yet I kind of liked it.
It just seems like they didn't know how to use the dinosaurs. And they didn't really know how to get the people onto an island. Despite it already being established in 2 previous films, the dinosaurs are on the mainland, and they didn't have to make up an excuse to go on the island. So the whole plot is just illogical. The characters are all one-dimensional. We don't really know anything about them. They don't have personalities, just like 1 or 2 personality traits. Scarlett Johansson does good in her action, but she just feels like she's playing Black Widow in a different movie. And Mahershala Ali, he was good too, but he got such a small role. It's just hard to care about characters. They don't have that much screen time. And I have no interest in these mutant / hybrid dinosaurs. You can kind of see one there in the poster. It's called the D-Rex. It's got a longer name, but I just call it the Dumbassosaurus because it looks stupid.
Cheetah says felt bad for Scarlett. And he said Jurassic World.
Okay, I'm told I have some comments, so let's see. Remove this. I'm back. Let's see these comments. Cheetah says, felt bad for Scarlett. Jurassic Widow. Love it. Back to that poster. Here we go. Like, even this poster is cool. Then you see what this thing really looks like. It's like, that's the monster. It looks like a xenomorph, kind of mixed with a rancor from Star Wars. But it looks like it's all like bulbous and stuff like that, and it looks dumb. No, I didn't like it at all. They seem to miss the point of the original franchise, and I can't help but compare this franchise to the Fast and the Furious franchise. The magic from the original was using DNA to bring dinosaurs back to life. I don't buy this whole premise that they keep trying to set up in all these movies, starting with Jurassic World, saying that people lost interest in seeing dinosaurs in person. No, I don't think that would happen. If you go to like a zoo or something like that, I get really excited seeing elephants and rhinos and stuff like that. So I think that'd be really cool to see dinosaurs. I don't think I get tired of it. I love seeing animals and like a wildlife. I'm like, oh look, it's like a deer. Like people get excited to see animals. So I don't think that would actually happen. So I think they're approaching this whole like reboot franchise from the wrong direction. Leave comments below if you agree. The franchise has lost its way, exploring tangent plot lines irrelevant to the original concept. Kind of like Fast and the Furious turning into like Mission Impossible when it started off as street racing. This is basically what this is. It turned into Mission Impossible when it started off with dinosaurs on the island and DNA, and then someone sabotaged the island because corporate espionage. Like, there's so much more they could have did with this, and they wasted all this talent, time, effort, and money. So I have a lot of theories, but I can't explain the chaos of this franchise. So those are some of my thoughts on Jurassic World Rebirth. I'll check the comments before I go to the next dishonorable mention. Oh, Tita says, Scarlett publicly says she really wanted to do a Jurassic Park movie. It's just a shame that this is the one that she was in. But I will give them credit. It was better than Dominion. Lost Kingdom has to be the worst one. So in that video, I did a whole ranking on Jurassic Park, the whole franchise, and I reviewed that movie. So if you want to know more, check it out. Okay, my next dishonorable mention. Okay, just want to make sure I go in the right order. Let's get rid of this so we can see. Okay. Okay, the next dishonorable mention is a little movie called Fixed. This was a Netflix original. Go away, I'm not sponsored. So here's the poster. Fixed was made on a budget of $30 million. And I wasn't able to find the worldwide box office. It's a streaming movie, right? I don't think this got a theatrical release. It even says here, Netflix, all over the poster. But still, that's a pretty generous budget. This one I don't have a video for, but my review is on Letterboxd. So I'll just kind of skim it, like I said. So basically, if you don't know, it's all about a dog named Bull who wants to have one last adventure with his pack of buddies after he discovers he's going to be neutered in the morning. Will this animated comedy get your tail wagging? No, definitely not. Tell you why. First of all, I was really excited for this because the director, it was Genndy Tartakovsky. Sorry if I butchered that. But he started working on this back in 2009. This was a passion project for him, but it was stuck in development hell because it was being exchanged between studios for distribution. He just couldn't find anyone to release it. But anyways, he's a big deal in the world of animation because he created Dexter's Laboratory and Samurai Jack for Cartoon Network. And he also worked on the first 3 Hotel Transylvania movies. You know, the good ones. I love those movies. And I was really excited too because this is a 2D hand drawn animated film. And if you've been watching me for a while, you know I'm all about the hand drawn 2D animation. It's just too bad this didn't get a theatrical release. But then again, it's just too bad this wasn't a better written script. But I'll get to that. Hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's got this hyper stylized animation. You can kind of see it here with the different dogs and everything. Each character's got a very distinct look. And the animation kind of reminds me of older Disney movies like Lady and the Tramp and 101 Dalmatians. It's also kind of reminiscent of Looney Tunes and Ren and Stimpy. And I do like how they use real dog breeds. You can see this one here. That's Bull. He's the main character. He's a blue Staffordshire Bull Terrier mix. And then we got a boxer here. We got a Doberman somewhere. I think he's right there. We got a Dachshund there. There's a Great Dane. He's right there. There's a Beagle somewhere. Oh, there's the Beagle right there. That's Lucky. He's my favorite. And then they have a Borzoi show dog. I'll try that again. Borzoi show dog. Okay, I said it. That was a tongue twister. But yeah, it was cool how they did that. And I like the animation. I thought it looks cool, especially the line work. I love the different thicknesses of the clean, simple lines. A little bit of lines add a lot of detail. So those are just some of the positive things. And Tartakovsky worked on the script with John Vitti. And he does try to put messages in there about being comfortable in your own skin. He tries to give the film some heart. And I'll give him credit. The dog puns are funny. Those never get old. And there's a few scenes where they have it out with some cats, which I thought was really funny. But this is about where the praise stops because the humor in this is just something else. It really pushes the boundary of offensive humor so much so that it totally loses the substance that it aims for. And the cast, it's a great cast. There's Adam Devine, Idris Elba, Catherine Hahn, Fred Armisen, but they don't really have a whole lot to work with. Their characters are underdeveloped for the most part. I mean, the exception is Lucky. That's this cute little guy right here. He was voiced by Bobby Moynihan. Sorry if I butchered that. Okay. But yeah, they only have basic personality traits. We don't know anything about these dogs, except like one of them's an influencer. One of them's kind of the runt of the litter. We don't really know much about Bull, except he doesn't want to get neutered. Like, there's not a whole lot going on here with these characters. It's not enjoyable. Like, it's hard to sit through. The first 10 minutes are going to be the deciding factor for testing your threshold for the humor. If that's your style, then you might like this. If not, then be warned. This is overly saturated with aggressively crass humor. So that might not be for you. And I don't get offended easily. I grew up watching raunchy humor from like the Fairley Brothers movies. I grew up watching the American Pie franchise and South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. I love raunchy humor, but this is just low-hanging fruit. There's a difference between adult comedy and juvenile humor. And this is just all just poop and pee and fart jokes and sex jokes. And after not even after like the first 20 minutes of that, the humor gets old. You know what I mean? Like they're saying stuff just to be shocking. They even have a scene where the dog walks by this car and the people inside are smoking weed, right? So the dog gets high. It's like, come on. This is very like basic, cliche, generic humor. You're better than this. So yeah, these are just a few of the reasons why I was very disappointed with Fixed. And actually, to call it low-hanging fruit, it's kind of insulting to those who actually take pride in subversive humor and rampant vulgarity. Because some people use it really well and still have substance and heart. Especially if you look at like American Pie, as raunchy as it gets, there's still that it's still a rom com basically. It's still the love stories there, and it's all throughout. There's just not much here, sad to say. But I am curious how like the Verley brothers would do this movie, or like how Trey Parker and Matt Stone would approach this. That would be interesting. But yeah, this flick's bark is worse than its bite. It's just so over the top and so in your face. It's hard to take these characters seriously during the sentimental moments when you have dog balls and asses in your face all the time. Like it's just there. Dogs running behind, like it shows behind the dogs, and boom, there it is. Always there, all the time. I swear, they have more screen time than the actual characters that they belong to. Like it's ridiculous. So yeah, that's fixed. I'm getting aggravated talking about this. Let's check the comments. So let's see here. Cheetah, I don't know this one. I don't know this one either, Cheetah, says Sabrina. Yeah. Netflix films are only ones I won't watch. Okay, that's fair enough. You're not really missing much here. I do want to do a little side note. I do think all movies are worth watching once, but some things, I get it, they're not your thing. So some movies you can just skip. And if this doesn't sound like your thing, you can probably just skip it. Let's see. Must be a Seth Rogen movie. Actually, no. You think it would be, but no, he's got nothing to do with it. Makes you wonder how he would have handled it too, because he did Sausage Party, but I didn't like that one either. I was disappointed in that one. But yeah, that's fixed. Okay, let's go back to IMDb. The next dishonorable mention. We're switching genres now. Called Flight Risk. Oh boy. Where to begin with this one? Okay. Yeah, I'll need a pilot. I had to. Okay. I was excited for this one because Mel Gibson was the director. And I do like Mark Wahlberg. He's not the best actor, but he makes fun movies. He's got fun characters. He's in one of my favorite action comedies of all time, The Other Guys.
I like this movie Fear.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very diverse too. He can do comedy, he can do drama, he can do straight up action. So yeah, I got nothing against Mark Wahlberg. And it's got Topher Grace in it too. I like Topher Grace. Big fan of that 70s show. Didn't like him very much in Spider-Man 3, but hey, who did? So Flight Risk, it was made on a budget of $25 million. And it made $29.7 million at the box office. So if you factor in advertisement and everything like that, this didn't make its money back. It bombed. With good reason. So, in case you don't know, this is all about a pilot who has to transport an air marshal accompanying I'll try that again. A pilot transports an air marshal accompanying an informant to trial to the Alaskan wilderness. So the pilot's got to take the informant from Alaska to trial. But not everyone on board is who they seem they are, as tensions soar, testing the trust of everyone around them. Is it worth risking taking this flight? No, not at all. Because Mel Gibson, he's got such a high bar when it comes to his caliber of films. He's done things like Braveheart, and he's done Hacksaw Ridge, and he did Passion of the Christ, and these are all critically acclaimed, award-winning movies.
I like What Women Want.
What Women Want's really funny too. I'm not sure if he directed that one though, but he's a great actor. He's a multi-talented guy. But this movie, it's got terrible CGI. It's got some of the shots are pretty cool when it shows the mountain ranges, the plane flying like over Alaska. Those feel cinematic. I do like those. So there's a select few seconds here and there that I enjoy. But certain things when you're inside the plane look noticeably fake. And that really ruins the viewing experience. There's a lot of obvious green screen effects. And as far as framing, shot variety, and composition, it's lackluster compared to his previous work. And the colors, cinematography, I don't know what's with this movie. It's all like muted and like bland and blah. It's not very pretty to look at, which is a shame because it's Alaska. It's beautiful. And the sound design is distracting too, because the Foley artist chose really odd sound effects for punching and kicking. Like, it's distractingly bad. It sounds like a cartoon almost. It's funny. The script was by Jared Rosenberg, and it is just full of cliches. There's a typical scenario of someone who stole something from the mafia, and then they want to testify as an informant to save himself. Major plot points happen off screen. So most of the movie is this lady talking on the radio. Hold on. It is Michelle Dockery. Sorry, she plays Madeline. She's the U.S. Air Marshal. Not Air Marshal, but the U.S. Marshal. Topher Grace is Winston. She's the informant. So the whole movie is just Madeline talking on the radio with other people, and they're trying to figure out who the mole is inside of whatever government department she works for. It's not really clear. And then, like, you hear about characters getting killed, but we never see who she's talking to. We never see people get killed. We get told all this information. It's a classic case of show don't tell. They tell the whole story, and they don't show us anything. It's just her talking on a plane. And then Mark Wahlberg, he's in it, but most of the time he's either like knocked out or he's like tied up. So he's not really doing a whole lot. And he says a lot of very unsettling things to Madeline too. Like, it's very sexual in nature. Like, he jokes about SA and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, what kind of character are you writing? Like, and for some reason, Mark Wahlberg shaved his head for this role. He didn't need to. He looks really funny. Like, it's distracting. This movie's so bad. And it's a shame too, because Leah Remini is the voice of one of the people she's talking to. You might know her from King of Queens. She was she played the wife in that show. So it's a shame. Did you hear it? Like, oh, cool. When are we going to see these characters? We don't. There's someone she talks to over the radio called, his name's Hassan. He's like guiding her on how to like fly the plane and stuff like that. But the whole time he's hitting on her. He's saying this whole time, like, oh, when you get down, I got a reservation and we can go for dinner. And like, oh, you got a pretty voice. And it's like saying all this stuff. It's like, oh, dude, just focus on the task, time and a place. And then he keeps leaving too. He's like, all right, I'll check back on you. And then like 5 minutes, no, not even, like 10 minutes later in the movie, he gets back. It's like, wouldn't you just be on the radio the whole time? So yeah, nothing here makes sense. It really doesn't. I was kind of drawn to the plot at first because I thought it sounded cool, and the cast and the director, but they really let me down because they really fail on sustaining tension. This is not a thrilling movie. It's boring. The directing is mediocre at best. The dialogue relies on tell, don't show all the time. And the acting for these actors, they can do better. I mean, what happened here? So, ironically, I do think that this would make a great in-flight movie if you're going somewhere on a long trip and your flight's going to be like 3 or 4 hours. But that's about it. Like, don't even like, unless you're flying somewhere or like, don't. You can skip this one. Because you don't need a pilot when the whole plane is flawed by design. Oh, crap. I forgot to mention grades for the other movies. Okay, I gave this one a small popcorn. If you're not familiar with my rating system, I got a video all about that too. And then let's see. I'll go back to this one. Fixed. Bring that poster up. There we go. So let's see. Fixed. I gave Fixed a small popcorn too. And then Jurassic World, Rebirth, or Recycled, however you want to look at it. Or Jurassic World Widow. I like that too. Let's bring this poster up. Let's do this proper. Here we go. For this one, I gave this one a medium popcorn when I did my episode.
I have to agree with the medium. There's a lot of cool effects in that movie.
Yeah, there was a lot of cool effects in that. And Dolores That was a little Triceratops.
Yeah.
Look like a Triceratops. Anyways, all right. Let's just check the comments before I continue. Cheetah says, flight risk was bloody awful. I have to agree. It crashed. Your pun was better than mine. And then he says, there was no way the movie cost $25 million. Yeah, I know. Where did the budget go? Like in the beginning, it had those moose. Ugh, terrible film. Technically poorly made, poorly written, poorly acted, poor all around. All right, let's move on. I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. Okay, cool. Okay, so next. Ride Hard. Yes, this is a real movie. Now, a few things drew me into this when I first heard about it. Look at the cast. It's got Rebel Wilson, it's got Anna Camp, and it's got Divine Joy Randolph. They're pretty funny. I like these women. They're pretty good in other things. And then I found out the director. Let's see, where's my notes? Hold on 1 second. It was directed by Simon West. And he did movies like Tomb Raider and Con Air. So I thought, okay, great. We got a good action director. We have a great cast. It's got a pretty funny title. The title made me laugh out loud the first time I heard that title. So I'm like, all right, good. I'm in for a good time. And then I watched the movie. So I'll read the description because I didn't write this one down. Let's just go back for a second. You can see here, IMDb rating 4.4 out of 10. So, when a mercenary group takes a lavish wedding hostage, they have no idea what they're in for, as the maid of honor is actually a secret agent ready to rain hellfire upon anyone who will ruin her best friend's wedding. So again, funny premise. So I was genuinely curious and eager to watch this.
Until you watched it and immediately regretted that.
Yeah, it's got a promising cast. It's got a funny title. But that stuff just can't save itself from a dreadfully unfunny action comedy. Like, the script is just terrible. All the pieces for greatness were there. And then they just kind of let the opportunity slip away, I guess. I'm not sure what happened here. The action scenes aren't memorable, and it's not funny. There's a boat chase in the movie that has an obvious green screen in it, and it looks so bad. It looks like how TV sitcoms when they're doing people driving around in cars. That's what it looks like. Oh wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry. Hold on. Budget. The budget wasn't available for this, but this did have a theater release. It made $2 million at the box office. So when a company doesn't release the budget, you know what? That's a bad sign too. Because yes, this was released in theaters. I didn't see it in theaters though. I waited for it to stream. It's streaming on Create in Canada. But as far as the script, it seems like they had the pun for the title first, and then they just wrote a bunch of random scenes around poorly staged wedding gags too. It feels like they only had half of a script, and then they let the actors improvise and do the rest. And I don't have anything against Rebel Wilson. I think she's funny. But when they're doing the fight scenes, you can clearly tell when it's her and when it's the stunt double. So it gets really distracting and it takes you out of it. Like it's really bad. And Stephen Dwarf is in this too. He plays the villain. But his performance is very wooden. It's very lackluster. Like he's done better. It almost seems like he doesn't want to be there. It's just strange. Not a very good performance. I was just really curious why Divine Joy Randolph wasn't the main character because she has all the best moments in this movie. Like there's this part where she's trying to comfort her friend who's pregnant and she's trying to comfort the baby inside the womb. And I don't want to spoil it here, but I laughed so hard when that moment happened. Like she seems like the main character in this. So the script can't even distinguish who the movie's about. It's not about the bride. It's not really about the bridesmaid. It's not really about their friend, Divine. Like it's very jumbled. It's confused on who it wants to focus on. It was hard to tell for a while who the main character is. So, is this a Die Hard parody? Hardly. Is this the next Bridesmaids? That's more laughable than this movie actually was. And Rebel Wilson was really good in Bridesmaids too. I think that was my introduction to her. So it's really sad to see so much hope and so much talent wasted. Sort of like the same with Flight Risk. It was just baffling. And this movie's way more violent than I expected too. And it comes out of nowhere. It's not like Spy, where it sets it up early on and it's kind of like weaved into the story. No, she's fighting somebody and she throws somebody onto this like roulette wheel and it goes like right through his chest. And it's like, holy crap, they just showed all that. I was not expecting that. And then it goes like even more violent from there. People's heads explode and stuff like that. Like the tones don't match at all for what it's going for. Because it feels like a parody movie. And then it gets like super violent, like a serious action movie. And then it tries to be a comedy. And then it's just all over the place. I don't know if it's a script issue, if it was a problem with editing, if it was a director issue. Maybe it was all of them. It's just, I don't know. All I do know is there's a movie that came out a few years ago with Jennifer Lopez. It was called Shotgun Wedding. It had a very similar premise and it handled it much better. So watch that movie instead. Because this movie should have brided harder. You can bride, but you should bride harder.
Don't give them ideas to make another one.
Okay, I've talked about bride harder though. Let's look at the comments. Someone embezzled the budget. I think you're talking about Flight Risk. Yeah, I agree. Never heard of this one. Oh, this is one of those movies that I recommend you watch just because how baffling it is. You really need to see this movie to believe it. Okay, moving on. Okay, next movie. This is the last dishonorable mention. This is called G20. Oh boy. Here's the poster. So this was an Amazon Prime original. So the budget and the box office weren't available for this one. Unfortunately. So here's the description. Terrorists take over try that again. Terrorists take over the G20 summit, with President Sutton bringing her governing and military experience to defend her family, company, and the world. Get this poster back. Funny story, this came out around the same time as another movie called Heads of State. And I reviewed Heads of State for my channel. I almost reviewed this one instead. And I'm so glad I picked Heads of State because that was actually a good movie. If you want to hear my full thoughts on it, you can watch it on my channel. So this movie, oh boy. Let me just get my notes here. So you heard the premise, but what this movie is really about is what if Michelle Obama becomes president? I had to save the world from Hillary Clinton. Because that's exactly what both characters feel like, the way they're written. It was directed by Patricia Regan. Sorry if I butchered that. But the action sequences are poorly choreographed and edited. So it's really hard to follow what's going on during the fight scenes. And most of the time, it doesn't even look like the people are actually hitting each other. Like, it doesn't even look like a real fight. So it just totally destroys the movie magic aspect there. There's this, okay. You can see here that Viola Davis is not really in the best shape. And in the movie, it looks like she's physically out of shape. So it's very improbable that she'd be able to get so many victories over these 6'5", 200, 300-pound, all muscle mercenaries. Like, there's a scene where somebody has like this scarf because they're on top of an elevator and they put the scarf into the elevator and they choke out this mercenary that's like 6 feet tall. It's this tiny little woman that's like 5 feet tall. It's like, come on, there's no way she's overpowering this guy. Like, it's laughably bad. They try to do this whole scene like the Winter Soldier with this inside the elevator fight, but it's just so muddled. You can't even see anything really. And then that happens. It's like, okay, I know what kind of movie we're in for. That's like one of the first fight scenes too. It was written by Caitlin Parrish, Erica Weiss, Logan Miller, and Noah Miller. And it feels like 4 different scripts smashed together. They have this plot that involves Bitcoin. And they want to give it to these impoverished African countries that don't have any running water, let alone a working internet or computers to use the internet or functional computers at all. So it's like, come on, priorities, people. And is it a coincidence that all the villains are white and all the heroes are a diverse mix of ethnicities? It's also got this teenage hacker subplot involving this precocious, obnoxious daughter. It's just so unrealistic. And it's ridiculous. Because in these kinds of movies, it seems like every teen is depicted as a tech genius. Why? I want to see a movie where the kid isn't good at tech and how the kid would get out of it because she doesn't know computers very well. Because not everyone's good with technology. And why do all teenage girls have to be written sassy? For some reason, her daughter is the typical cliche sassy black girl. It's frustrating. On top of that, It's good to know that any computer with any antenna can crack government firewalls with ease. Who knew? They also have this deepfake subplot that makes very little sense because it relies on this contrived scenario that they have to say this sentence in front of the camera, all the different world leaders at this G20 summit. But think about it. Wouldn't there be enough real world footage of all these people on the internet already? So it just felt so unnecessary. You can just make deepfakes on your own without making these people do that. And the writers clearly don't understand how cryptocurrency works. I'm no expert, but I do know that the crypto wallet is a digital tool that helps you store and manage the keys to access your cryptocurrency. But you actually store cryptocurrency on the blockchain, it's not in the wallet. So they got the whole thing backwards. They don't even know what they're talking about. This is just very basic stuff. Viola Davis is the Michelle Obama character. It's good to know that being tough and self reliant depends on how cowardly and inept the men are around her, too. It's so ridiculous. I don't get it. Why is she trying to be an action hero now? She's in her 60s. That's another thing, too. There's no way, like, somebody, no offense, but somebody older you take on people like this. These mercenaries are huge. And then Elizabeth Marvel is the Hillary Clinton character. She plays the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury with blonde short hair and all. I wonder who the target audience is for this movie. Anthony Anderson is in this too. He's the Barack Obama character. His lackluster performance is coupled with his character being basically a damsel in distress. That's all he's there for, so he can be saved by the women. And he's got no chemistry with Viola Davis. It's very awkward when they have that lack of rapport on screen. I'm just curious. Why did he agree to do this? A paycheck, perhaps? I'm just kidding. We all know the reason. Anthony Starr is the villain, too. Right? Homelander from The Boys. It's really funny hearing him talk with his natural accent, though, after hearing him on The Boys for so long without an accent. So it's just hard to adjust to. But basically, he's just the Homelander character. But instead of the cool Superman like powers, he has guns. So it's not that interesting. And Clark Gregg is in this too as the vice president. So between this movie and War of the Worlds, I really think he needs to get a new agent. So yeah, overall, this isn't just about beliefs. This is all about flippant virtue signaling. This movie isn't bad because it wants to say something. It's bad because it replaces storytelling with said virtue signaling. My political views don't matter because the script should pose questions, not answer them. It's not about picking sides, and that's the point. The movie hides bad writing behind ideology, and it dares you to criticize it. The problem isn't representation. The problem is using said representation as a substitute for character and plot. One of Viola Davis's first scenes in this movie, she beats a guy up. And then, like, literally the next scene after, she complains about how much harder she had to work to prove herself to be president. And I'm kind of going into mild spoilers here, so skip ahead if you don't want to hear this next part. Spoiler warning, just so you know. But the movie undermines its own message. Davis is supposed to be this war hero, but she admits at the end of the movie that she saw minimal combat. She didn't have a whole lot of experience on the battlefield. And then there's this picture throughout the whole movie that she celebrated for being a war hero. It shows her rescuing a child. But a photographer just so happened to walk by when she was pulling people out of the rubble. All these people, there were more than her pulling people out of the rubble, but they just happened to take a picture of her. And that's the one that she was celebrated for. So it's like, oh, how can you undermine yourself like that? The only thing that's missing from this movie is a big Mike reveal. That would have been hilarious. So it's not Die Hard. It's not Air Force One. It's DEI Hard. I give this an extra small popcorn. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I'm done with G20. Let's look at the comments. And remove. Oh, let's get rid of this one. G20, yeah, exactly. It's Amazon Prime. World of the Worlds will be your number one worst movie. I actually have that on my horror movie list. I consider World of the Worlds to be a horror movie, so that's not in this episode. Well, I got thoughts on World of the Worlds, though. Don't worry. Oh, Davis got paid. Exactly. Cash grab. Yep. It's not even a flight risk light. No, it's not. Love it. That's hilarious. All right, this is fun. Let's move on. Okay. Now that we're done with the dishonorable mentions, my number 5. Hold on, let's make this official. Let's do this proper. Go back. Here we go. All right. My number 5. Worst movie. Worst non-horror movie of 2025. I want to make sure I get this right. Okay, yeah. Number 5. You are cordially invited. So let's get this poster. Oops. Didn't even click that. Okay. You are cordially invited. There it is. This came out in January. I believe this was straight to streaming movie too. It's got Prime all over the poster. Yeah, there's no budget or box office on record. So straight to streaming. I mean, it says right there, January 30th. So almost a year ago. Technically, it's February now. It's after midnight. So, okay. So I will read the description for IMDb. When two weddings are double booked at the same venue, the father of one bride and the sister of the other bride must preserve the wedding weekend. So the plot alone is very contrived, especially how it gets overbooked. The lady is literally writing down the reservation and she dies. And she doesn't write it all the way down. And the ink wasn't working in the pen. So there's a lot of different things that have to go into play. Like, it's very convoluted. Oh. And that's just the first 2 minutes. So it was written and directed. Hold on, let's go back to this poster. There we go. And yes, there is a crocodile in the movie for some reason. You remember this, right?
What are your top 5 streaming films?
Okay. It seems we have a question in the comments. Let's see. Are all your top 5 streaming films? No, they are not. Nope, nope, nope. The next 3 are not streaming films. Most of them are, but yeah. Rebirth wasn't a streaming movie. Flight Risk was in theaters. Brad Hart was in theaters. This one wasn't. And then, yeah, the next three were theatrical releases. My number one is a streaming movie, but it's not War of the Worlds. This is not about horror movies tonight. Tonight's about non-horror movies because I love all types of movies. I think they all deserve to be looked at. So let's get back to it. You're cordially invited. So it was written and directed by Nicholas Stoller. Will Ferrell gives one of his most obnoxious performances that he's given so far. And that says a lot for somebody who makes a career out of being obnoxious in a good way. Like, I love Elf. I love Will Ferrell. I grew up watching him on SNL. I think I just aged myself, but that's okay. But his character is so reprehensible that his only redeeming quality, the love for his daughter, isn't enough. And it's like that for all these characters. Reese Witherspoon is usually great. She hasn't aged a day since Legally Blonde. But her character is so deplorable and self-absorbed and domineering. It's just unpleasant to watch these people. And then they try to force this love story in between Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell, and they just don't have good chemistry. The two of them seem like they'd be a weird couple. Like, I don't know, seeing them together, they don't fit together. Normally when you see couples, you're like, oh, that makes sense. But there's no conceivable reason for these people to be together. There's literally a line later on where Will Ferrell's daughter is talking to Reese Witherspoon. She's like, oh, by the way, my dad loves you. And she's like, oh my God, I love him too. It's like, what? There's no natural progression. They could have removed the love story from the movie and it really wouldn't change anything. They should have just kept it about the two competing weddings. That would have been enough. Or even if they had like a little montage, kind of like in Beauty and the Beast, where it shows the two of them warming up to each other after being mean to each other, just something. They just go from like hating to love. Boom, boom. Like, what? That's a huge leap in logic. The best part about this movie is how they use the score from the Stephen Sondheim musical, A Little Night Music. That surprised the hell out of me, but I loved it. So yeah, these are just a few reasons why, if I were you, I would cordially decline this invitation. The characters don't get developed. They don't have engaging plot lines. There's too many characters with too many subplots going on. It's unnecessarily convoluted, overstuffed. And about halfway through, there's no change with these characters. No, sorry, wait. Halfway through, the film tries to be heartfelt, but then it falls flat because these characters don't feel grounded. They're all just like hyper like stylized caricatures of what people are. People don't act like this. They're not this eccentric. They're not this stupid. Sure, some people are pretty like mean and despicable, but come on. Cordially invited, more like incorrigibly divided. But no, there's nothing enjoyable about this. It's the character's relentless misery and a forced conclusion. It's just so hard to believe. The finale is frustrating because these characters really don't deserve each other. They don't deserve forgiveness for some of the things they do to each other. I'm not even going to say what the crocodile thing's about. I don't want to spoil that, but still, that it's like, okay, now there's a crocodile in the movie, I guess. It's so out of nowhere. It's so random. And that's what the movie is. It's loud, it's obnoxious, it's random, it's dumb. It's hard to sit through because it's just so mean-spirited. So that undermines any chance for any sort of emotional payoff. So I say this invitation should be cordially declined. Permanently RSVP'd, as in no. All right, I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. I'm getting mad. Let's see the comments. Sabrina says, it is an interesting movie. Yeah, she watched it with me. We were both looking at each other like, what? What is happening? How did we get from there to here?
Make you scratch your head kind of movie.
Yeah, makes you scratch your head for sure. She just says, Will Ferrell has been shitty since Wedding Crashers. Yeah, his character is kind of obnoxious like that in Wedding Crashers, but like to the nth degree. It's ridiculous. He goes, hey, complete strangers away fell in love on Fantasy Island. yeah, but that was Fantasy Island. They don't even establish this as being some sort of like hyper version of reality like they do in like Wes Anderson movies or like Tim Burton movies. No, it's supposed to be grounded. But then all this crazy, wacky shit happens. It's like, what? Why is this happening? 3 days. I'm not sure what you mean by 3 days. The movie takes place over a course of 3 days. Oh, Fantasy Island is 3 days. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. Moving on. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, at number 4. Okay. Oh, wait. Sorry, wrong list. Okay. Number 4. Fantastic Four. First Steps. This movie is so frustrating. I hate this movie. I'm so frustrated I almost forgot to share my screen. Okay, back in business. This was so disappointing. Easily the worst MCU movie of the year, in my opinion. If I can spell. I'm so angry I can't even spell right. Okay. Here we go. Here's the poster. Maybe. If it loads. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, Fantastic Four, First Steps. Cool poster. I'll give it that. The poster's better than the movie. I do like how Galactus is kind of in the background like that. That is really cool. And then you got Silver Surfer there. So here's the synopsis according to IMDb. Go away. I'm not sponsored. Forced to balance the roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond, the Fantastic Four must defend Earth from a ravenous space god named Galactus and his enigmatic herald, the Silver Surfer. Okay, so let's start with this title. I want to be very clear. Actually, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself. And then I'll talk about how the title bothers me. Hold on. Fantastic Four had a budget of $200 million. And it made $521.8 million at the box office, which might sound impressive, but considering you have to factor in advertising too, this movie was a box office flop. It didn't make its money back. People went and saw it opening weekend, but then nobody went back afterwards to see it a second or third time. It didn't have that staying power in the theaters. So,
Should have just got this movie.
Okay. So, I'm going to be very clear about this. This is not a Fantastic Four movie. Because it involves the baby, Franklin. So it's about 5 of them. And it's not their first steps, because it's not an origin story. It feels more like their second or third steps. So we're only on the title, and we're already on 2 strikes. It was directed by Matt Shakman. And the strongest thing this movie has going for it is this aesthetic identity of this retro futuristic 1960s setting. It is really cool how they have the world set up and everything. This is a whole different galaxy. The MCU takes place in 616. This is 828 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. I've only seen this movie once. I'm not watching it again. It makes me angry. Moving on. Okay. So I do like how this movie has its own visual style. It looks very different from all the other MCU movies. So, that's one thing going for it. I'm going to be nice at first and point out what little I do like about this movie. And it's got this space voyage later on too. It's got some pretty cool CGI in it. So when the film leans into this world, especially this space voyage, it becomes something special. Briefly, the use of the powers for character-based moments is pretty clever. It's got little moments. It's got Reed Richards writing on a whiteboard, and his arm keeps going way down, like to the end of the room. Stuff like that is funny. I appreciate stuff like that. It's got this moment where Sue Storm shows her baby inside of the womb using her invisibility powers. That was pretty cool. And it's got a scene where Johnny Storm he breaks through the stratosphere using his powers when he's chasing Silver Surfer. So that was really cool. And I liked Ralph Ineson. Sorry if I butchered that. That's Galactus. His voice is perfect for the role. Especially when he gives his monologue when they find him out in space. I got chills. That was amazing. But this is where the praise ends. With 4 credited screenwriters, the script feels like a compromise, not a vision. I got a little from column A, a little from column B, a little from column C, a little from column D. Despite all these striking visual concepts, the color palette is ugly. It's not as colorful as this poster is. Hold on. I got to show a picture just so you can get an idea. Go away. Not sponsored. You're in my way. Okay. This is what most of the movie looks like. This. Very muted color palette. Like that. Soft pastel colors. There's Franklin. See, it's not very pretty to look at. It's supposed to be Fantastic Four. It's supposed to be bright and colorful, like Spider-Man. Like even that. Hold on, go back. You think that would be more vivid? Why is it so muted? Why is it so ugly? And even that. This is an iconic Fantastic Four shot that's in the comics, but again, it's very muted. It's lit kind of weird, the way the shadows are. It's just, the costumes look good, but they're off. It doesn't look right, in my opinion. Okay, here's the poster. So I didn't like cinematography. The story. Oh boy, the story. Is it a family drama? Is it a cosmic epic? Is it a light-hearted family comedy? The film doesn't know. The film has an identity crisis. It never commits to any one of these genres, really. But it doesn't blend the genres. It just does like little skits here and there, or like little sequences that don't really mesh or go well together at all. And then there's long stretches where nothing happens and they're just talking the whole time. It's got a montage in the beginning where they fight off like 3 or 4 villains. Then they have like an hour of talking, and then they have the big finale. It's baffling. All these movies are baffling. All these movies are a testament to the problems Hollywood's having today. So I'm going to take a second here to look at some comments before I continue my rant. I have words for Fantastic Four. So let's see these comments. Cheetah just got this movie. You mean on Blu-ray or DVD? I'm all about physical media. They keep rushing. Yeah, I don't know why they rushed Galactus. In my opinion, they were better off just sticking with Mole Man because they set Mole Man up. But then they rushed the Mole Man plot, and then they kind of, well, they like minimize his character. Like, and he's Mole Man's a big Fantastic Four character if you're familiar with the comics at all. And then he is, why is Ben Grimm wearing a college sweater? Yeah, really. I don't even like the character design for how he looks in this one. They're better off doing the old school rubber suit. I think that would look great. Like the way they did with the other Fantastic Four movie. That was awesome. Or like the Ninja Turtles in those movies, the originals, back in the 90s. Okay, oopsie. What is happening here? Whoa, that was weird. Okay. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Put myself here. Back to Fantastic Four. Okay. So, like I was saying, I needed more Mole Man. At least one full-fledged fight sequence, like in the beginning, because Paul Walter Hauser deserves more screen time. He was incredible as the character. He just suits him so well. And that would have made the tension between him and the Fantastic Four throughout the whole movie so much greater. But we never get that moment of like, this guy is the one to watch out for. Can we trust this guy? This guy's really powerful, but we never get a sense of his fight. They show kind of parts of his fight in the previews, but that's all it is. It's just that part in the previews. And I was excited. I'm like, okay, where's that scene going to go? I want to see the rest of that scene. But that's the whole scene.
Even that rock-looking dude doesn't look the same as he used to.
No, that's the thing. Yeah.
I don't know names.
Yeah, no problem. I don't get why they didn't do an origin story. They start 4 years after they get their powers. But unlike Spider-Man or unlike Batman or Superman, there's never really been a good definitive live-action version of the Fantastic Four getting their powers in a movie. And I was looking forward to that. Like, how are they going to do the whole origin story? But no, they just skip it. It's called First Steps, but we're not going to show the first steps. That would be ludicrous. This was their chance to get it right. And they skipped it. They fudged it. And most of the time, they're not even a team. They're isolated, separated from each other, fighting crime. Or they're just thinking about how they want to fight crime. Or they're thinking about how they're going to tackle this Galactus situation. And the whole way they want to fight Galactus is stupid. For Reed Richards being a genius, he's very stupid in this movie. Totally goes against the character he's supposed to play. And Julia Garner, she's good as Silver Surfer. And admittedly, I'm not that familiar with Shala Ball. She's a different Silver Surfer in the comics. So there's no personal connection there. I didn't really feel anything for the character. Vanessa Kirby's wasted because Susan Storm, because she's pregnant, she's totally sidelined to being pregnant and being a mom. And that's her character in the movie. She has no personality. She never cracks a joke or anything like that. She's always just mom stuff all the time. I'm pregnant. I'm mom. All the time. That's all that's important. It's just frustrating because there's so much more to her character. I really think they screwed up by introducing Franklin so soon because he's such a powerful character too. And okay, Thunderbolts, they had Sentry, and now they have this other character that's super powerful. And that's supposed to have Doomsday with Dr. Doom, and he's super powerful too. So it's like, what are they planning? They have all these super powered superheroes, like maximum powers. Then you got Captain Marvel. So I think they're introducing way too many like super powered beings too quickly. Because there's not going to be much of a fight for these other superheroes if all these characters are fighting for the spotlight. But hey. And I don't get why Susan Storm even went on the space mission. She was pregnant. They don't let pregnant women fly on planes. So her going to space is just stupid. Yeah, the whole birth scene was beautifully shot, but it's a stupid idea. She didn't even really do anything to contribute on the trip anyways. Like, why was she on that mission? It's just so unnecessary. Pedro Pascal clearly doesn't understand the role. He's just grief-stricken and guilt-stricken the whole time. And he's just... Okay. They don't have enough fight scenes where it shows him being a problem solver on his feet. It's just him in the laboratory all the time, or him in the bedroom fighting with Sue Storm all the time. Like, they really missed out on showing the full capacity of what this character is capable of. And then Eben Boss Bacharach, sorry if I butchered that. He plays the Thing right here. He should be a boisterous, gruff, loud, obnoxious character. But in this movie, he's so like depressing. But they don't even touch on him grappling with being this rock monster. He's just sad because he kind of has this crush on a girl, but he's too afraid to talk to her. It's like, what are you doing with these characters? And his catchphrase kind of becomes a joke. Why does he refuse to say it's clobbering time? I don't get it. People love that phrase. I love that phrase. That doesn't make sense. So these first steps are not in the right direction for the MCU. They stumbled. I'm pretty familiar with the Fantastic Four comics, but I'm not as well read as I am with some of the other superheroes. But this was Marvel's first family. This was Stan Lee's baby. This is what basically started the whole Marvel rebrand. It kicked off his career as a comic book writer. Like, it deserves so much better than this. I became more familiarized with Fantastic Four through the cartoons that they had growing up, more than the comics. But those cartoons did get me interested. Like, so I just don't understand how they can treat basically comic book royalty like garbage. It's sad. It's really sad. I was looking so forward to this movie. This is one of my most anticipated movies, up there with like the other ones. Thunderbolts was another big one for me this year, but this one was just bad. There's no like chemistry between the actors. They know like this movie's not fun. This is the Fantastic Four. It's supposed to be fun. It's depressing. It feels like they skipped a movie. This feels like a sequel to a movie that we never got. We should have got the Mole Man movie, like I was saying. And the CGI baby in this looks terrible. If you look closely at the baby scenes, there's long periods where the baby goes without blinking. It's creepy. So how can they make Galactus look good, and then the baby doesn't look good? It doesn't make any sense. It teases without delivering full satisfaction. It's sad that the best Fantastic Four movie that we've gotten so far is The Incredibles from Pixar. I actually prefer the 2005 version over this version. At least that one's fun. They get the characters right. So this is dark, depressing, dialogue-driven. Where's the fun action? Where's the witty banter? This isn't The Watchmen. This is Fantastic Four. Or, should I say, more like Blantastic Bore. Am I right? All right, I'm going to talk about Fantastic Four. Comments? Okay, no new comments. Cool. Moving on. Let's see, wait, let's go here. Okay, cool. So, where are we? Number 3? Yeah, number 3. Love Hurts. So let's share the screen. This was another early release in the year. It came out February, around Valentine's Day. I think it came out that weekend. This was another one. It had high hopes, and it crashed and burned. Even the poster. This poster is awesome. I love this poster. And I love Ki Hu Kwan. I think I said that right. And Aaron of the Bosie is really good. So this movie was promising. There it is. Okay, it came out the week before Valentine's Day. Fair enough. So I'll just read the synopsis. There it is. Go ahead. A realtor is pulled back into the life he left behind after his former partner in crime resurfaces with an ominous message. With his crime lord brother also on the trail, he must confront his past and history he never fully buried. Now, the premise sounds cool. And the previews made it look like Romeo Must Die, or like Exit Wounds, or like older Jackie Chan movies. Well, like Rumble in the Bronx, something like that. Flight of the Condor. Those old Jet Li, those old Jackie Chan movies. So it was promising. It was hopeful. But when I left the theater, I could not believe how far they missed the mark. Okay. It was directed by Jonathan Uswabo. Sorry if I butchered that. Love Hurts was made on a budget of $18 million, and it made $17.5 million at the box office. So it didn't even make its money back. It bombed. And yeah, I was so excited for this. I actually rushed out and saw this opening weekend in theaters. I was so stoked. The martial arts aren't even the best part of the movie. Like, the choreography is generic. The fight scenes are hard to watch. And it's way gorier than I expected too. Like, it just comes out of nowhere, kind of like Brad Hart. It doesn't even set that tone up or anything. It's just like violence in your face. Whoa, where did that come from? So, and it's so over the top. It kind of feels like a live action cartoon too, like Kill Bill almost. It was written by Matthew Murray, Josh Stoddard, and Luke Passmore. And again, like I said, with some of these other movies, when it's three or more writers, it feels like three or four scripts stitched together because there's so much going on here. It's kind of like this Frankenstein's monster genre blending that they try to do, and it just goes horribly wrong. It tries to be a martial arts movie, it tries to be a rom-com, but they just don't get that balance well. It's just there's no sense of urgency because there's conflicting tones. Because the drama and the comedy just clash instead of going hand in hand. And the script, for some reason, doesn't even tie Valentine's Day into the story. It's not part of the plot at all. So this movie could take place any time of the year. Why is this movie called Love Hurts? So the title doesn't make sense. The plot is very thin at best. It doesn't even explain why these two brothers loathe each other so much. It doesn't explain why. Well, okay, Ki Hu Kwan plays Marvin. It doesn't explain why Marvin loves Rose. That's who Ariana DeBose plays, Rose. And if he's trying to keep a low profile, it doesn't make sense that he's a real estate agent because he's got these billboards of his face plastered all over town. So it's like, what are you doing? That's counterintuitive to what you're trying to do. That's not laying low. It's just all around bad. Sean Astin is in this for some reason, but he's got such a small role. It's like, why did he agree to do this? He's supposed to be kind of the heart of the movie. He plays Marvin's boss. But still, it's just anybody could have played that role. It's such a small role. It's there's a lot of baffling choices in this movie, that's for sure. It suffers mainly from inconsistency, inconsequentiality, because nothing that happens in this movie really amounts to anything. There's no real resolution to the plot, and indifference. It's lackadaisical writing, and it feels rushed, even though the movie's 83 minutes. It could have been another like 10, 15 minutes for a little more substance, a little more something. It's too fast and too slow all at the same time. Like, it's so odd. The script over explains unnecessary things. The script over explains unnecessary things, like all these generic cliche subplots. Like, there's an assassin that's trying to be a poet that falls in love with Marvin's secretary, but it's got nothing to do with anything else and doesn't even go anywhere. So again, really odd choices when it comes to the writing. And then they skip over major plot points that matter most. You know, like how Rose and Marvin met, and like why their love means so much to each other, and why they're fighting so hard to save the other person. None of that relationship stuff matters in this movie. I had the same issue with Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. The preview shows all the best parts, and if you've seen the preview, then basically watched the whole movie because you saw everything that you needed to see. This would have been better off as a short film. It's like an inferior version of like John Wick or like Romeo Must Die or even Bullet Train. It kind of has that same kind of vibe. It's very frantic, very kinetic. It's very chaotic, but still, it's supposed to be a throwback movie, but it's just more like a throwaway movie. If you catch my drift. And is it ironic that the rom-com has commitment issues? Because they can't commit to one plot or tone or anything. So yeah, that's Love Hurts. I gave this one an extra small popcorn. We're getting to the bottom of the barrel now. Is there any comments?
No,
No new comments. Okay, cool. Moving on. This episode is running longer than I anticipated, but I'm almost done. All right. At number 2, Smurfs. That's right. There was a new Smurfs movie this year. Did you know that? You didn't miss anything. There we go. Smurfs. Let's do this.
although I think I should have watched that one with you.
Smurfs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to compare it to the original cartoon that I grew up with in the 80s.
Oh, yes. This is the movie I recommend you watch just so you can see it. Because I'll describe it to you, but it's still, you will not fully comprehend the badness of this movie. I'm getting ahead of myself. So when Papa Smurf is taken by evil wizards Razumel and Gargamel, Smurfette leads the Smurfs on a mission to the real world to save them. Okay, that is not the plot of the movie at all. So I don't know why it even says that on IMDb. I'll tell you what it's really about. It's all about No Name Smurf. That's right. There's a small. It's all about a Smurf trying to figure out what his name is. I'm not kidding. But that alone is stupid too, because the No Name Smurf is played by. Hold on. I want to make sure I get his name right. James Corden. So if you're familiar with who that actor is, he's got a very thick British accent. So he's the only Smurf in the Smurf village that has an accent. So why isn't he British Smurf or like accent Smurf? Like, it's got this whole plot about him trying to figure out magic because he wants to be Magic Smurf, but it's just stupid because the accent ruins everything. You know what I mean? Like, nobody stopped during production. It's like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. And why isn't Gargamel the main villain? It's all about his brother, this guy, who wasn't even from the original cartoon. His name's Razumel or something? I don't know. I don't care enough to look it up. But Gargamel is sidelined because this new guy steps into place. But he's basically the same character as Gargamel. Like, he acts the same. He does magic just like him. He's got a pet sidekick that doesn't talk. It's like, why not just use the character that already exists? He's redundant. And even though Brainy Smurf's in the movie, he contributes nothing. Like, why doesn't Brainy Smurf chime in and try to make plans and try to help? Like, he's there the whole movie, but he just sits there silently. He barely talks. Ugh, they're not using the characters to their fullest. And Smurfette, she's played by Rihanna. And I'm sorry, but the voice just does not match the character. I think she's miscast here. She's a great singer, sure. Smurfette's got a few songs. But that's where kind of the problem is. This movie's kind of a musical, but not really. Because they have a few songs where they sing to each other. They even have like this opening number, but there's no like final number. There's no quintessential songs that musicals have to like have a story or like develop character or important things movies need for people to care. It's all missing from here. Yeah, Papa Smurf does get kidnapped, but it's not really about Smurfette. It's more about this no-name Smurf and this book that shows up at the beginning that talks and does magic. It's dumb because the book shows up again at the end. It's like, oh yeah, they were looking for a book the whole time that Papa Smurf sent them on a mission for before he got kidnapped. There's so much going on. That's kind of an animated movie, but not really because they have live action segments. But there's no live action characters. Like they go to the live action world, they go to this club and find more Smurfs, and then they take the Smurfs back to the animated world. It's like, why did you even have that in the movie? You couldn't just animate the whole sequence. Things don't make sense because the outside of some exteriors looks like that was a redundant sentence. Sorry. Exterior shots show live action buildings, but then they walk into a house and the inside is animated. So it's like, what is happening here? It's not like Looney Tunes where they explain there's a portal in like Space Jam and they go back and forth like that. They're just in the real world and then they're not. And then they are and then they're not. It just feels very unnecessary. The plot resembles a brainstorming session where no idea was rejected. Like they just threw everything at the wall here. And it's really weird too. The way I'm not really gonna spoil anything because I don't think I can spoil this movie, but they have this big dance number, and you think they're gonna sing this big finale song, but then it just stops. So there's a lot going on here. It tries to be genre defining, but it's just a mess. It's incoherent, it's chaotic, confusing. Visually, it's underwhelming. Is the multiverse angle really the best place for a Smurfs film? Like, I don't get anything that this movie's going for at all. I don't get how this movie got made, how it even like made it past the script phase. Like, what is going on here? It's just, it feels like it's actively tried to go against the source material that is already established that people love. And that's really frustrating because people love Smurfs for a reason. So why not just give them what they love? You can't just have a simple Smurfs movie where they're in the village fighting Gargamel. Like, is that really so much to ask for? That's what I mean. It's very frustrating. And the way they use Smurfs in this constantly is just annoying. Like, yeah, they use it as a swear word, and that's kind of funny sometimes. But this is just all the time. Smurf this, Smurf that. I just smurfed my pants. Smurf this. Like, oh my God, yes, I get it. You ran the joke into the ground 20 minutes ago, and there's still an hour left in this movie. Like, oh my God, it's so bad. It's like a verbal tick that's designed to remind children what brand they're watching. Don't forget, it's Smurfs. It's Smurfs.
Yeah, but if you think back to the original Smurfs cartoon, they did say the word Smurf quite a bit.
Oh, I know they do, but in this, they take it like to the nth degree. It's like every other word is Smurf this and Smurf that, or hurry the Smurf up, and I smurf my pants, and that's what I mean. It's Smurf this and Smurf that. Oh my God, it's too much. It's way too much. I wouldn't show this to my nephews out of fear of making them dumber. No, I gave this film a no popcorn. This is just a sorry excuse for a Smurfs movie all around. Let's check the comments.
No comment.
No comments. Cool. All right. Oh, wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right. So we have made it to number 1. So my number 1 pick for the worst non-horror movie of 2025. Drum roll, please. Playdate.
I got it.
My cats are making a mess. Sorry about the noise. But yeah, I don't know if you heard that. Playdate. This was a streaming movie. Amazon Prime Original, to be exact. Let's pull up the poster. This is easily the worst movie of last year. I'll tell you why. Well, okay, here's the premise. Go away. Brian just has been fired from his job. He becomes a stay-at-home dad. He accepts the Playmate invitation from another stay-at-home dad who turns out to be a loose cannon. And that just scratches the surface. That's not even really what the movie's about. I don't even know why this movie's called Playdate, but we'll get to that. Here's the poster. First of all, the poster is misleading because I don't remember Kevin James holding a gun once in this movie. He's a coward, his character. But anyways. Oh. Hold on. I think I messed up before. I think I forgot to mention something about Smurfs, so I'll just go back to that for a second. I don't think I mentioned the budget or the box office. So here's the poster for that. Smurfs made on the budget of $58 million, and it made $124 million at the box office. So it made money. People saw it. I didn't have it checked off, so I don't think I mentioned it. Cool. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, I'll go back to Playdate. Oh, I got thoughts about Playdate. This isn't even a so bad it's good movie. It's just so flawed on so many fundamental levels. Filmmaking, script writing, acting, sound design. We'll get into it. Oh, I'll get into it. So there was no budget, but it did have, oh, okay. I stand corrected. This movie did have a theatrical release. It made $516.9 thousand. Flop. So something I didn't point out before is I don't really get to go to a whole lot of film festivals, and I don't get to go to a whole lot of advanced screenings. So usually I try to catch movies at theaters when I can. But most often than not, I end up watching streaming movies. So most of these movies are streaming movies. I imagine it's the same with most people out there.
I don't know. I don't think Cheetah streams movies.
Yeah, it's all about perspective, right? Prerogative. Some people don't like streaming movies. Some people don't have streaming services. That's cool. I also trying to appeal to as many people as possible by doing theatrical releases and streaming movies.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, not everyone can go to the theater every week. And sometimes 2 or 3 movies get released in one weekend or more. So these are the movies that are accessible to me. So here, I forgot to do this. I meant to do this the whole time. This one. So as of today's recording, I have seen 143 2025 new releases in total, including theatrical and streaming movies. So these are the movies I'm talking about tonight. Oops, I meant to edit. So here we go. So Playdate is number 1. I gave this movie a no popcorn. You can see all my reviews on Letterboxd. Number 2 was Love Her. No, wait. Number 2 was Smurfs. Where'd that one go? Here we go. This one also got no popcorn. They don't have no stars on Letterboxd, so I just have half star as no popcorn. And then Muppets was number 3. Then You Are Cordially Invited was number 4. And Fantastic Four was number 4. You Are Cordially Invited was number 5. And then these are the dishonorable mentions. It doesn't matter what order these ones are in. I'll actually put this one at the bottom because it's technically the highest rated movie on this list. These are all 2 stars. Oh, okay. D20. Okay, if you go by the rating system, D20 is technically worse, but oh well. It's more about how much these movies supported me, or how much they frustrated me, or how technically not well made they are. You know what I mean? So there's the list. Let's get into Playdate. Okay. I said that already. Okay. Pull up my notes and then we get started. So it was directed by Luke Greenfield. And his direction is very generic, it's very bland. It relies heavily on static framing, and it's punctuated by this erratic Steadicam that pans and zooms really quickly. So the editing is very jarring. The camera's still, and then it's really frantic and crazy and moving around, and then it's still. And then the camera's moving around all the time, and then it's still. Like, it's almost headache inducing. And then rather than trusting the audience, it does this thing where the camera will like pan away from the person talking and it'll like zoom in to somebody walking toward them in the background. Like, look, this is what you're supposed to be paying attention to. You see this person there? It's very on the nose for this filmmaking, if that makes sense. And it clashes together very awkwardly, the way it's edited together. So it's not very interesting to look at. It's got this scene early on where it's got really bad ADR. So basically, it's showing they're outside, and Kevin James is talking to his stepson Lucas. Kevin James plays Brian. Lucas is his stepson, but he's coaching this lacrosse game, and it's really weird because some of the voices sound like they're outside, but then other voices sound like they're echoing like they're indoors. So clearly, they put that dialogue in later on to try to punch the movie up a little bit. But the way it's edited, you can't even tell who's talking because it doesn't show who's talking and it doesn't match up to anybody who was on screen that was talking. So it's like, where's that voice coming from? This is just the first 5 minutes. There's another scene that's kind of like that later on because they have this scene at this restaurant called Bucky Cheese, which is kind of funny. I'll give them that. But again, they have these mascots where the mascots were talking, but then they say other things, but it's not the same voice, even though it's the same character talking. Like, oh, come on. This is very basic, fundamental things here. Bad sound design. The off-screen dialogue raises more questions than it answers. Like, they're obviously trying to punch up the movie, but they could have mixed that sound better. Somebody wasn't paying attention, or they didn't care enough. I'm not pointing fingers, but still. The script is by Neil Goldman, and it's so unfocused, driven entirely by convenience rather than logic. The story lurches from one scenario to the next, relying on contrived obstacles, such as they have an Amber Alert put on them so they can't call the cops. But the reason they have this Amber Alert is really stupid. It doesn't make any sense. But it's like, oh, they need a reason why they can't get help from the police. So we'll just do this. You know what I mean? Like, very basic writing here, very simplistic, generic. Ugh. And by the third act, I won't say too much. I won't spoil anything for this one because, again, you got to see this movie to believe it. But it suddenly switches genres, and it's like, whoa, where did this come from? It becomes like a whole different movie. And even though that it heavily telegraphs little breadcrumbs, somehow, even though it feels like a predictable plot, it still feels like it's out of left field simultaneously. I just don't get how that's possible. It tries to make sense of where it's going, but even like, okay, I guess it's going to go that direction. Like you're kind of half kidding to yourself. And then, nope, that's where they're going with it. It's exactly what you thought, but for some reason, it still makes no sense. The compounding issue is the script's constant reliance on referencing other movies. Like there's Die Hard references in this, there's Jurassic Park references, but all that does is remind me of better movies that I could be watching instead of this one. And to his credit, I will give Owen Richardson, that's his name. He plays Jeff. I'll give him some little credit. At times, his character can be charismatic and funny, but most of the time, he's just too much. His energy can be infectious, but he's just so aggressively zany. He's like a real life cartoon character. Like it feels like any given moment, he's gonna be like, "Man, what's up, Doc?" And then Kevin James, I don't know what they were going for with his character because he's just such a relentlessly humiliated pushover. He's a character that's not even sympathetic. He's just pitiful because everyone in this town is picking on him. Like kids pick on him, other teachers, like the teachers don't respect him. His boss doesn't respect him, his coworkers. But it never really fully explains why everybody despises him so much, aside from him being shy and having a stutter. And that's another thing too. His character is really annoying too because he's one of those like exaggerated stutterers. Like, oh, what's the problem? I don't understand. You know, like he's very bumbling, like very exaggerated. It's just very off-putting. Characters like that can work, but yeah, I don't know what they were going for. Instead of grounding the comedy, there's so much exaggerated cruelty. It creates a character who feels less human and just miserable all around. I don't know what they're going for with this character. I guess they're going for sympathy, but he's not sympathetic. This is just a pitiful character. He doesn't defend himself. He's got no backbone. He gets bullied by like 12-year-old kids who threaten to beat him up and stuff like that. And he's actually scared of these kids. It's like, what?
That sounds like
adults don't act like this.
that sounds like Hubie.
It's kind of like Hubie, yeah. Kind of. It is kind of like the Hubie character, but more obnoxious than Hubie. So I mean, that character can work. I like Hubie. Benjamin Pajak, I think I said his name right. Sorry if I butchered that. He plays Lucas. That's this kid in the red hoodie. And for his age, this character is written to be very juvenile and way too dumb for his age too. Like there's a scene when it's the same scene, the lacrosse scene early on, where Kevin James is trying to motivate him. He's like, "Yeah, you know, you'll get the winning score, like you'll get the goal, and then everything's gonna happen in slow motion, and people are gonna celebrate your victory." So what does the kid do when he's playing the game? When he gets the ball, he literally starts running in slow motion during the game. It's like people don't act like this. Nobody's that stupid. And the kid's like 13. So it's like, isn't he old enough to stay at home by himself, even though the dad's told he's got to babysit, well, not babysit, but he's told he's got to take care of his kid? Like, I don't know. It seems like the dad can go out and about without taking the kid everywhere alone with him. Like, that's what I mean. Nothing in this movie makes sense. There's a certain age where kids can stay home by themselves, around 12, 13, 14. Maybe I'm wrong. But that seems like an age. I was staying home by myself at that age. My parents went off to the store. Like, come on. Banks Pierce is CJ. That's Jeff's son right here. And his character is just very bland because he doesn't really talk much. Most of the time, he just does this blank stare the whole time. But he does have some impressive fight scenes. I'll give him that. He's got the physicality. But there's not much to this character. Well, there is, but I'm not even going to get into the twist of this movie because it's dumb. Isla Fisher's in this. There's this whole subplot with this group of soccer moms called the Mama Mafia. And basically, while they're watching their kids at the park during the day, they're doing all these adult themed antics that feel like they're from a whole different movie. Like they're offering people drugs, they're prostituting themselves to other parents. Like it's weird. It feels so out of place in this movie. Like her first line is offering prostitution to Kevin James. It's like, what? She asked him, she's like, you want to get jumped in? You ready to party? And he's like, party? What? Like, it's just, what is happening in this movie? This is just further evidence of how the film is just a scattered approach to shot, a storytelling. This happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. There's no reason for it, but all these things are happening. It's kooky. Can you believe it's happening? Like these actors are great in other productions, but not this. They're just underutilized. Especially Sarah Chalke as Emily. She brings her usual Scrubs energy, but she's totally wasted in this. Anyone could have played that role. Without spoiling anything, because I really want people to experience this ending purely. Like, you really got to see this ending. It ends in such a confounding way that it's not shocking. It's just this dizzying left field curveball that clunks the audience over the head. I can't believe how this movie ends. It's like, what just happened? This is how you're going to bring everything to a close? That's your conclusion? Not only is it lazy, but it happens so quickly. It's just like, that's it. And then they go into this dance number, and then it's the credits. It's like, what is going on? Because all family comedies got into dance numbers nowadays. I don't get that either. It's just such a cliche thing. It started with Despicable Me, I think, and then everyone tried to copy them because they're like, oh yeah, that's fun. No, that only worked in those movies. So yeah, overall, this Amazon Prime original doesn't just collapse under its own weight. It was never built on a solid foundation in the first place. It's a hollow assembly of cliches, total chaos, and technical incompetence that's designed to be half watched. It fails as a comedy, it misfires as an action movie, and even lacks the accidental charm that some movies have. It's a so bad it's good disaster piece. It's a combination of incoherent story structure, lazy writing, mismatched performances, poorly, competently shot action sequences, and it never really fully justifies its own existence. This isn't just bad, it's creatively vacant, void of any entertainment value whatsoever. This is the kind of disposable streaming sludge that drives me crazy because it's all about quantity over quality. They don't care if it's good, they just want to put out this mass product. They clearly state the plot at least 10 times out loud so people scanning on their phones can keep up with what's going on. Like, it's bad. It's bare minimum content. It's hollow, it's disposable, and it's instantly forgettable. I had to watch the movie twice because I watched it and then I didn't take any notes or anything like that. And then, like, a week later, I tried to write about it and I couldn't remember anything about it. So I had to sit through this twice. This isn't so much a play date, it's more like a dated play.
Play date for adults.
It's horrible. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. My top 5 worst movies of 2025, with some dishonorable mentions there as well. So, oh yeah, sorry. My grade for that is a no popcorn. Oh, terrible. I don't want to call it a movie. It's not a movie. It's just content. It's just garbage. But I do recommend you watch it just so you can see what exactly I'm talking about, because even me describing it does not do justice to the badness of this movie. So, do you agree with my list? Do you disagree? Please keep in mind, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying people set out to make a bad movie. Obviously, nobody sets out to make a bad movie. But no matter what happens, sometimes there's studio meddling. Sometimes visions get confused. Sometimes directors get switched. Sometimes scripts get like mismatched together. Sometimes they start shooting without scripts at all. But it's good to talk about bad movies so we can really appreciate good movies. I mean, I was watching recently, there was a YouTuber out there, and he was I'm not going to say who it was or anything. I don't want to name names. I'm not trying to start beef or anything. But this person was very condescending, saying that it's not good that people make the worst list and you shouldn't scrutinize art and all this stuff. But that's bullcrap, because I don't care who you are, some movies just aren't technically well-made films because of all the reasons that I was talking about. And we need to acknowledge what's bad in order to fully appreciate what makes good movies so great. So I don't know, that person pissed me off. I unsubscribed to that channel. I'm not going to say who it is because, again, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not trying to start anything with anybody. we're all here doing the same thing. We're all just critics reviewing movies. I just don't like it when people put themselves on a pedestal and think they're better because they don't. This person refuses to do bad movie reviews. It's not Chris Stuckman. I'm not talking about Chris Stuckman. I'll put that over there right now. But this person doesn't even do bad movie reviews. Like, he doesn't review movies unless this person likes the movie. So if the person doesn't do a review, that's how you know this person didn't like the movie. But they're not willing to openly talk about why they didn't like it. And that doesn't make sense to me because all the reasons that it's listed. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but yeah. That's my rant. These are what I think are the worst movies of 2025, whether they be disappointing and technically bad made films. Okay, I'm done my rant. Make sure you tune in next week. I'm going to talk about the best movies of 2025, the cinematic gold. Now that we got the crap out of the way, we can get to the good stuff. So, I hope you like what you watched. If you like what you see and you want to see more, make sure you please like and subscribe. Have a good night. And Happy New Year!
Till next time. So, until next time.
I'll see you at the movies.
Have a great day.
Did you know that I'm a film critic for HorrorBuzz.com? You can read my reviews on their website, so I'll leave links below for that. And remember, this is just my opinion, so if you disagree, I'm very curious what your thoughts are. Leave comments below and we can talk about it. Good night. I'll see you next week.